Hello and welcome to the SelecTrader trade tutorial series. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at a variation on our trend trade, which is a trend with a dot. First, we'll take a look at a couple of long examples and then some short examples. Now, this trade is a bit different from our standard trend trade, but it does let us get into some of these moves that we normally wouldn't be able to get into when the market is cycling or when there's a longer reversal and we may not always get our green background that we'd like to see for a more straightforward trend trade. So this trade requires our turn bar to have a dot, and the dot has to match the 200 EMA. So if we have a green dot, we'll be looking for a long trade. Our 200 EMA to plot green as well, indicating that there's still a strong underlying long trend. We also need to see our green ribbon as well. And like our other trend trade, this can qualify on the turn bar or the first color bar. And we have another example a bit farther up. Same situation, we have a turn bar with a green dot, and our ribbon turns green on the first color bar, which is when we'd look to enter. You can see in both these cases, there are pretty decent runs here. So while this isn't what we would typically consider a straightforward or obvious trend trade, it does let us catch some additional moves that are more strongly established by a longer term trend. We can kind of catch in between cycles. So next, let's take a look at one as it develops, and we'll see how the green dot can give us a bit of a heads up. So we'll have plenty of time to prepare for this trade. All right, so let's take a look at a long example of our trend with a dot as it's developing. So we had the market just opened right around here at about 9:30. And we can see our green dot has started to trail on our red color bars. Now this gives us a heads up. We don't know for sure when the green dot will stick to our turn bar. And as we continue to move short, so here we can be anticipating a turn bar. And as soon as we see one, we can then check for our green ribbon. And if it qualifies on the turn bar, we can enter using that DPI, or we can enter using the green DPI that plots the first color bar. So here we have our turn bar and we see our green dot sticks, but our ribbon is still red. So we'll likely be entering on the green color bar. As we see our first green color bar, we also see our ribbon down here did plot green. So we can go ahead and enter that long, and we see it's a decent little run there. Next, let's take a look at some short examples and then a short trade in action. So here we have our short example. Again, basically the same rules. We're just looking for everything to be red this time rather than green, since we are looking to enter short. And see, after our little short run up here, our price basically bounces off the 200 EMA and it is red. It matches our dot color. But again, our ribbon is not red on the turn bar, but it does plot red on the first color bar. So we can go ahead and enter this trade on the first color bar. And you see this does develop into a pretty nice run here. So now let's take a look at this in action so we can get a feel for anticipating these as they develop. All right, so here we see the market has a bit of a stair-step kind of pattern as the market is moving up right toward our 200 EMA, but our 200 is still displaying we have an underlying short trend here. There we see our red dot stick to our turn bar, and it matches the color of our 200 EMA, even though there was a brief little spot of green in there. Still does plot red here. But again, notice that our ribbon is not red yet, so we will need to wait for our next color bar to plot to see if it does indeed qualify, which it does. So we can go ahead and enter using the red DPI price that closed this first color bar here. Thank you for watching this lesson. We hope that with a bit of review, you'll quickly be able to add this to your repertoire of trades. Join us in the next lesson as we take a look at our reversal trade.